My name is Marcia, and I am exuberant. If you guys watched my last video, then you saw some of my updates. My weight loss has kind of slowed. That is for a couple of reasons. Partly not eating. Well, it's not really. It is about the food. There's always food involved when it comes to weight loss. I haven't been 100% on all the time, which is okay, because I don't want to ever deprive myself. That being said, I was actually afraid to have my blood work done. And then also with the weather and everything changing, I just haven't been walking quite as much as I was during the summer and fall. So yes, I continued to lose weight. Fluctuations obviously always occur, and that's one of the main reasons I don't weigh myself on a regular basis. That's something that, it's different for every person, and weight for me is something that I don't focus on. It's not a primary concern of mine. The blood work, those numbers, those types of things are, to me, what is the most telling about your health. And I just got my blood results back. I went last week, Thursday, I believe, on the 10th. So the first time I had my blood work done was July 22nd. That was where I got my starting numbers, my baseline numbers for all of my blood work. And I was supposed to go back to get my blood checked again the end of October or early November. That would have been my 3-month mark. Again, because of the fact that I wasn't eating as healthily as I should be, I wasn't still exercising as much as I had been, I was a little bit scared, to be perfectly honest with you, that the blood work would come back and I wouldn't see much of a change. My blood work, I'm so stoked. So stoked. So first, let's talk about my liver enzymes. That is your AST and your ALT. If you guys recall in my video from last year, my AST at the time was at 50, and my ALT was at 63. This was the end of July last year. As of last week, both my AST and my ALT are now at 15. Both are well within the ranges of being considered normal or healthy numbers, and that is for my liver enzymes. So last year in July, my blood glucose was 100, and that is, that's considered high. 65 to 99 is the normal range for your blood sugar. And again, mine was at 100. So just tip the scale to be considered high. More important than the glucose, way more important, is hemoglobin A1C. Now, this number, last year it was 6.1. My doctor told me that I was pre-diabetic, and that if my hemoglobin A1C was 6.5 and higher is when you actually are given a diagnosis of being diabetic. So I was really, really close. And my hemoglobin A1C as of last week is 5.4. So anything under 5.7 is considered healthy or normal. So under 5.7, I was 5.4. I was practically jumping for joy when I read this report the other night, and I was scared last year when I found out that I was 6.1 on that, and this was actually one of the biggest numbers that made me decide to make a change. And I am so glad that I have. So even with the times I've kind of fallen off of my eating plan, one thing that I've always stuck to with that is making sure that my portions are reasonable. So I don't overeat, even if I'm not eating the healthiest of foods. And I think that for me has been a significant change. I was telling somebody earlier today that I can actually remember the first time that I recognized in myself, since I've started making these changes, when I was full. I actually called my mom on the phone. I was kind of shocked, but I was also extremely proud of myself that I was able to recognize while I was eating something that I was getting full, and I could put it down and say, I don't need to eat any more of this. So that, to me, was when I really recognized that I had actually made a big change in my eating habits. The last thing I want to go over is some of my measurements. So I did not take measurements in the very beginning when I started the journey. To be perfectly honest, I didn't even own a tape measure that was big enough. Most tape measures only go to 60 inches. So yeah, I didn't even own a tape measure in the very beginning. So the first time I took my measurements was September 22nd. And I'll put in the numbers of what those were, but for the most part, some of my numbers have not changed a whole lot. My hips have only changed slightly, but I believe my true hip measurements have changed some, but because of the way my body fat and the way I'm carrying some of it now, because of those changes in my body, it's kind of repositioned itself. So even though I'm losing fat, like my belly sag, or my apron, as some people call it, has changed, and that has kind of made it seem like my hip measurements, when you actually use a tape measure, hasn't really changed that much. But all in all, from September to now, so in about 3.5 months, I'm down 20.5 inches. I've had a total of 2 inches, a decrease in my chest size, so my bust, and then a total of 2.5 inches off of my waist. Only 1 inch off my hips, but like I said, I think part of that is because of the change in the repositioning of some of my actual fat. Most of the inches have actually come off my legs. So my thighs between both of my thighs, I have a decrease, a total of 5 inches between both of my thighs, and my calves. Now, I'm going to put a picture in here because a couple weeks ago on Instagram, I posted a photo of my legs and the change in my calves, which was where I was retaining most of like the edema that I had in my legs. And I posted a picture of kind of a before and current progress photo of those. So my calves, between both of my calves combined, I've lost 6.75 inches. And most of that has to do with the edema. Obviously, part of it is the fat decrease as well. But such a huge change just in my calves. So yeah, 20.5 inches total since September. So again, not from the beginning of my journey, but from September 22nd. So about 3.5 months, I've lost 20.5 inches. So again, so excited. I'm so happy I can share this news with you guys. And this is also, this week marks 6 months that I've been on YouTube. So those of you that have been with me from the beginning, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I love your support. I'm so thankful to have you all here. Anybody who's new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. I've look forward to getting to know some of you new guys more too. So if you've liked what you've seen, if you've watched any of my other videos too, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. Sometimes the bell works, sometimes it doesn't. It's supposed to let you know when I post a new video. I know it doesn't always do that, but I'm, again, so happy to have you guys here. It truly means a lot to me. Please don't forget to also click the like button, thumbs up or thumbs down. If you don't like what I'm sharing, hit the thumbs down button. Either way, I don't care. I'm just happy to have you guys interacting. I just want to leave you guys with this one bold law that I kind of have come to live by. It's one of my favorites that I've learned through my coaching and training through my real estate business, and that is change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So, what can you change today that might help you tomorrow?